Recreation Commission on June 1st, 2015. First order businesses elect officers. Any nominations for our chairperson?
Can I just interject? I just realized Ken used to make the point to say that the meeting is being audio and visually, video recorded, so.
They do that in all the regular
Right, so I think
meetings.
it's
Yes.
required, so just,
Yes,
so the meeting's being audio and video recording. So now we can.
for the public's
Thank you, Ann.
consumption.
I nominate Todd for chairperson. Any,
Second.
Absolutely. Why not? You're,
are there
Right.
any nominations?
I second Todd.
Todd's been seconded. Those in favor,
I have to abstain.
say aye.
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 Okay.
Unanimous decision. So-
Well, I wouldn't say unanimous, because we have one person
Well.
missing, so.
Uh, Secretary? Any nominations or volunteers?
Well, secretary, I will say that should be either Ann Proto or her assistant Kathy O'Brien.
Ann is a employee of the commission. She, I don't feel she should spend her time being our secretary. Her job description does not call for her to be the commissioner's secretary.
Oh, could you, when you have a chance, could you send me your job description, or?
I don't even know if there's one that's updated, but the commission has always had its own elected officers, as in the chairperson and the secretary, and it's part
Actually,
of the commission.
we need to discuss this amongst the elected members of the board. I don't see a reason why someone that, because there's no other town board that has a sitting person on that board that takes the meeting minutes. Now, I spoke probably like 3/4 of an hour up above with Scott Bragdon, the Human Resources Director, and there's some minor, commissions like the assessor's office or whatever, but a major office that spends a lot of money, whether you look at the Board of Selectmen that has Marion Harrington, the Planning Board that has Betsy Fidgel, the Conservation Commission that has Marie Simpson, and we're in the Board of Health that has,
I believe
I think
they
it's
are
best-
all
may I
called
still
executive,
speak?
Secretaries.
they are. They are.
And is a recreation director.
Well, that's fine, but there's, what's, excuse me.
In the discussion, nomination is for our secretary. Is there, and in my opinion, it cannot be Ann,
Or Kathy O'Brien?
or Kathy O'Brien.
Okay, well, I disagree with you honestly.
Well, if you can come
What do you
up
think,
with a
Scott
written
It's
up.
Todd.
or Todd?
And historically, this Recreation Commission has had the positions of chairperson and the secretary as one of the people that were elected into the positions.
Right.
So last year, Ken
Would you like to-
Lawrence is chairperson and I was elected as secretary. This year, I have now been elected
And beforehand, the year
as
before.
chairperson. And before that, somebody else was a chairperson and
You
somebody was
guys.
a secretary.
Yeah, both, Ken was the chairman before, the previous
Mhm.
year, 2013, and you were the secretary.
So
Sounds
it
great.
just historically has been that way in this department. We have also brought up the idea of having a secretary.
Now, I didn't hear any follow back as far as, a few months ago or 3 months ago, Ken was talking with the town administrator. Did that all fall through as far as the secretary? You would know more about that than I would.
I'm not sure why you keep saying I would know more about that than you would, because you're on the same commission as I am.
Well, I haven't heard anything from the chairman or the former chairman, so, nothing was presented to me by the,
You've heard previously that we put on for the budget of next year, and you can go back to the meeting minutes.
oh,
You
okay.
can go back to the televised events, where you were here and you probably understood at that time that we were looking to put in, we budgeted about $2,000, I think,
Oh,
for
okay.
a secretary position.
Oh, I thought it was for
on the
this year.
part-time.
I thought it was
No,
before
I-
the
again-
Springtown meeting.
Again, Kevin, I don't know why you would think that,
Oh,
because
okay.
it was proposed as the next budget.
Oh, the next, I'm mistaken. I apologize, Todd.
That's fine.
I very much
So
apologize.
if we can get back to the agenda here with the election of the
Yes,
officers.
Yes, yes,
We've
yes.
now elected the chairperson, myself. Up for nomination is the secretary. Is there any volunteers?
I volunteer.
I nominate Liza.
Third,
Tom nominates, and you will second, okay? All in favor?
aye.
Aye. You are now elected as secretary. Would you like to start taking the meeting minutes?
Yeah, sure.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
If we hire a secretary to take our minutes, we still have to approve or have a clerk on the board who, after we approve the minutes, she signs the minutes,
Okay,
and that makes it official.
sounds fair enough to me.
You would be the expert, right, Tom? So
Yeah.
that sounds great to me.
I'm fine for being an expert, but being involved in various boards,
Well, 30 years of service, how can you beat that?
that's the way it's been.
Sounds good.
Yes.
So do you want to nominate her now as the secretary slash clerk, or do you want to wait to do the,
Probably wait.
okay.
So what does the clerk, can you expand on that? I don't know what the clerk position means.
Clerk also takes notes, but after our secretary presents the minutes to the commission, and if we have any corrections to make, the corrections are made, and then the secretary signs.
Or the clerk?
The clerk would sign.
The clerk signs the minutes as being approved by the commission.
Now, may I ask, is this a paid or an unpaid position?
But the clerk,
Yes,
non-paid.
non-paid. So both the secretary and the clerk would be non-paid.
If we hire a secretary, the secretary's
Well, we're not, because it's,
Well,
as
we
Todd
paid.
said, it's in the next fiscal year. So we're not talking right now, we're talking July 1st.
Correct.
So right? Right? So as far as Liza being the secretary, right, and a quote-unquote clerk, I'm confused as far as, they're both non-paid positions, right? So why, I mean, we've always just had a secretary. Todd's been the secretary for 2 years. And
So
before my
secretary for
time,
1 year.
Oh, you weren't the previous year? Oh, okay, so I'm mistaken.
Elected every year.
Oh, I apologize. I thought,
okay.
because I thought you were before, but,
I was on the board, but I was not secretary.
oh, okay. Well,
All right, from now until we hire a secretary,
so that would be after July 1st, right?
Liza is the commission's secretary.
Yeah, we voted on that, but I don't understand the whole clerk position.
So,
You-
when we hire the secretary is not.
Well,
gonna
we
be-
may not hire one, right? I mean, it's not in the
If-
budget, I mean.
If and
it's-
when
Right, if
we
and
do.
when, yes,
that person is not on the board, she's not a member of the board.
yes.
Therefore, in order for those minutes to be part of the board, i.e., when I complete the minutes, I say, respectfully submitted, Tom Newmark, Secretary, Norfolk Recreation Commission. That's how I sign it, as secretary.
Yes.
So we're going to elect her as a clerk to accept those minutes that are written by the, if and when hired, paid secretary.
Oh, so we're jumping ahead to, because,
We
so
have
we
not
think
Changed.
that, no, but we think that we're going to,
Kevin, right now,
right.
Liza is secretary.
So we don't have to talk
I
about
am
anything
chairman.
else, right, as far as the clerk, right?
Correct.
Okay,
That's
so,
right.
right, so we don't have to talk about clerk position or whatever else.
When it comes up.
I'm
later
sorry
on.
that it brought the
Exactly.
clerk on position up.
Thank you.
Going back to the agenda, let's take a look at the minutes. I'm sure everybody had a chance to look at the minutes.
Yeah, I can't really, I'm sorry, I apologize for missing it. But, so I can't really comment on them, so.
I'm not sure what you mean by missing it.
Well, I wasn't here, so I wasn't at the meeting, so.
You weren't at the meeting, but you have been provided copies of the
Right,
minutes.
right, but I
in advance of
haven't, I
this
haven't
meeting.
reviewed the NCTV, so I'm, so for what it's worth.
But you have had an opportunity to look over the minutes.
Well, yes, you
Okay.
sent them
Sure.
this afternoon, right?
No,
So,
I did not send them this afternoon.
oh. Okay,
You can go back and check your timestamp when I sent them.
oh, okay.
I just have a couple of comments. Under status of fields,
Sure.
very small, just field is filed, so
Got it.
just changing letters, I do that all the time.
Yep.
And then under the 2015-16 budget, on the last sentence, it should say program coordinator positions
Okay,
rather than director positions.
gotcha.
We've actually, Mr. Chairman,
Sure.
may I make a motion
For,
we've kind of forgotten, this is one position, and I'm not sure if anyone would like me to represent the board, but this is something I feel very strongly about, and having collected 701 votes last May, the lowest ranking member of all the people that are here, but I would like to be the CPC since Mr. Terpstra has been there the previous 2 years. We've omitted the motion to who will be our CPC designate.
sure.
So I can't nominate myself, right?
I don't see why not, but Tom's been the CPC representative for many, many years and ongoing, and he continues to be there, so I don't see why we would shift.
Oh, okay. You don't see any reason why, Tom, you would like to stay on that board? You wouldn't like to expand the knowledge of other members on the Recreation Board, having served here for 30 years? You would like to remain in that position?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Well, then I guess Liza is the person that can choose, or Todd.
We haven't even made a motion yet, so.
Oh,
I know
okay.
you certainly can nominate yourself.
Well, I have, but,
All right. Well, then I make a nomination and make a motion for Tom Terpstra to be our CPC representative.
great.
I second that.
That's enough. We're not gonna have any more outbursts like that, please. All right. Any other, going back to the minutes, any other recommendations on changes or additions to the minutes? Liza, you're all set? Tom, any other changes?
No, I'm fine with it.
Kevin?
Actually, I don't have my reading glasses and I wasn't present, so I can't really comment
I
since I
understand you
haven't
weren't
seen
present
the
and you
NC.
keep saying that a few different times.
Well, the NCTV, I haven't, I can't comment on something I wasn't there at.
Sure,
right,
I understand.
right?
You had an opportunity to
So-
read through the minutes and.
But how can
figure
I,
something
how
else.
can I
That's correct.
objectively, right?
That's fine, absolutely.
Yeah, so you keep asking, I mean,
Just,
okay,
fair enough.
you're a lawyer, right?
I make a motion to accept the minutes from May 4th as amended with the two corrections.
Second,
All in favor for moving forward?
Aye.
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 Aye. Actually, I really shouldn't even be I can't vote because I wasn't there, right?
Abstain then, right?
Yeah, abstain, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, next item on the agenda, school space update.
I spoke to NCTV, and NCTV will be vacating the room. They're still not sure about the storage closet. They're actually waiting to get some pricing about moving some equipment to this location, and they don't have that yet. But they will be vacating June 30th, which is the first day of our program at the Freeman Kennedy School this summer. So I have talked to Katie, the manager, and she said that they're gonna do their best to be out so we can be using the room on June 30th, which is very nice of them. And if it doesn't work out, we can use an adjacent room for that short time. And they will let us know as soon as they know about the closet.
Okay.
And I just thought I would note, we'll have to work on some furniture, but we do have one small table that's a good size, can easily sit 8 at the old town hall, so we'll have that moved over. It's a smaller table, but we can make do with some other tables. We have a couple smaller picnic tables for young kids, and it's a summer program, so it's casual. No one's writing essays. We're playing games and doing beats.
All right, sounds good. CPC project updates? Tom?
And the, on the, on Bozella property, Cindy has found a appraiser that could do the work. She was waiting for a price from him. As to the cost of the appraisal. To my knowledge, we've not gotten that yet.
So let me refresh my memory. This Vozella property, right, this is down by the paint factory, right? And this is gonna be on the November town meeting warrant as far as a purchase of the property. Is that,
No, not yet, it isn't.
not yet? Okay, so in future
There's been
meetings
no
perhaps?
decision made.
Oh, okay, because I've been to CPC meetings and certain people from the Conservation Commission, when Ann had first presented it, we weren't on TV up in room 124, but she had said besides the property that we were going to purchase from the Vozella family, if I'm mispronouncing their name, I sincerely apologize, but there was also a house nearby that that the woman resided in the Norfolk Housing Authority. And when I went to a CPC meeting that both you were at and both Ann was at, Dan Crofton, who represents the Conservation Commission on the CPC meeting, and Andrea Langheiser, who serves as a adjunct person on the planning board, had said that it wouldn't be necessary to purchase that house in order to get the roadways into this property, which, for the record, I don't currently agree with purchasing the land for $800,000 or however the estimate comes in. But the house should be off limits, and I'm sure you will update all the board members, because I will be at those same CPC meetings that you attend and that Ann may attend, and she shouldn't be sitting at the table, but she should be sitting back on the wall like I am as a private citizen listening to these meetings. But I don't agree with purchasing the house, and there are two other people that serve on other town boards that there's no reason to purchase that house from that woman that is decrepit.
Okay, I think we're getting off base here with our agenda, and that might be something
Well,
you can bring up and have a conversation at the CPC meeting.
Well,
As far as the
he was,
specifics?
right, he
He's
was just
giving us an
talking about,
update.
right. But
As
I
far as your
do,
arguments on what should be done or shouldn't be done.
not
should be done,
arguments, it's just I'm bringing
your
to light,
position
I'm bringing to
whatever it
light,
is.
right.
should be addressed at that meeting. Not here, we're trying to get the updates of what's going on. You can listen to the updates. If you need to make recommendations or your requests, I would suggest going to the CPC meetings like you would.
Or put it on the agenda here to the Recreation
We do have
Commission.
nothing to do with purchasing a house here at the Recreation.
Oh, no, I'm not purchasing, but we're looking at land, Vazella property, that
Right.
requires
Can I give an
CPC.
update? So the Vazella land will be purchased through CPC with the possibility of us being able to utilize it as a recreational facility. We're
Oh,
not
okay.
purchasing.
Right, so that, it's all town meeting related, right?
Right.
So, you're a lawyer, I'm not a lawyer, okay? So you understand
Can we
all the
stop?
protocol.
Can we stop with the, I'm a lawyer, you're not a lawyer? and-
Right,
Just-
but
just
I'm
talk to
only
me.
asking, I'm
Talk to me
only,
like a civil person?
I'm only asking, Todd,
Okay,
okay? But, you know, the more information I
us.
get, right,
right,
and the public gets,
sure.
as far as, because all the people that watch this program
Mhm.
before I lost my election, I was the one that proposed having these meetings
Okay.
televised.
We're getting off track again.
Right,
We're going back to the CPC project
Right.
updates. We're gonna listen to what Tom has to say.
All right, first of all, there's no price on that property. The Vazella do not have a asking price.
may I make a comment? No,
Well, you let me finish, Kevin.
yes, I will, if you're, I'm not sure if you're done, but yes, you may finish.
I'm not
And then I
finished.
would like to say something.
Uh, there could be a problem with the entrance to the Vazella property. At the current time, it's one way. It's not wide enough for around two cars to pass, and it butts a wetland, which is how this other house came into our discussion.
Now, may I make a comment, unless you're done?
There is a engineer that will be looking into expanding that existing car path. That's concludes my discussion on Bozella.
May I make a comment?
Sure.
Thank you. The only reason I know anything about this Vizella property was this was presented when we met a few months ago, probably 3, 4 perhaps, don't hold me to it, but we met in room 124, okay? But NCTV wasn't televising that meeting, but Ann talked about, in addition to this property, she was the one, our recreation director, that mentioned that $800,000, loopy, could go anyway, price tag for the property. And in addition, she talked about how her assistant, Kathy O'Brien, the 54D and her health insurance and everything else. But we met in 124, but the meeting wasn't televised. The only reason I know about the Vizella property and the purchase of that and the amount of that was our recreation director mentioned that in room 124, but NCTV, for whatever reason, couldn't televise that recreation meeting.
And what is your comment that you want to make?
That's my comment.
Okay. Now we'll move on to field and court updates. Want me to give the field updates? Do you want to give the tennis?
Sure.
Basketball?
The
And
tennis-
I'll give the fields.
Okay, sounds good. The tennis courts have been repaired and painted and lined. They were coming back today, however, it's raining, to put the nets back up and the center straps in, and also to line the basketball court, which they are doing at no cost, no charge to us, which I thought was very nice. But unfortunately, the lining can't be done in the rain. So they will be here as soon as it dries out. I'm sure they're backed up, but they have been keeping us informed about their plans, and they will be back and we will be done with the
Is the
courts.
investigation ongoing as far as the vandalism that occurred last fall, or?
As far as I know, they're not, the police.
I know, but they couldn't comment to us, but,
Right.
as far as the results of the investigation, or, but it's ongoing, or?
Not that I know of anymore. They couldn't find anyone. They did, as far as I know, I think
Oh, I
last
wasn't
fall.
told, so.
They
it
said they
was just-
couldn't, they looked into different, possibilities, but there was no one who saw anything, no one who knew anything.
But we do have security measures now, right? The Peter Diamond or security cameras and stuff
The
that are.
security cameras are not in. I had
Good.
asked Bob Bullock,
Mhm.
who was looking into lighting, and he's actually said he would let me know tomorrow, what he could find out, putting in a pole and a security light.
So will you circle back on the next meeting? Is it June 22nd as far as what he says? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
All the fields, as far as soccer, softball, baseball, they're all open, except for Field B, which continues to remain closed. Field I, we did open up, moved the playground field from where the kids were playing the soccer for 8v8 over to the Field I, which is closest to the true line and railroad tracks over at Freeman Kennedy. Field H, I, and J are now open. Fields A, B, A, and C over at Pond Street are open, and then all the baseball and softball fields are open. We did have some work done on the playground field, which included some top dressing, grass seeding, fertilizing. Fertilizing's been done throughout all the fields, so things are pretty good shape. Field I really came back. That was pretty worn down last year. We do still need to work on Field H in the corner, where we seem to have a little sinkhole area occurring. But Field A was getting a little dry out in some areas due to the irrigation, which we'll talk about in a minute. But Field B looks good, Field C looks good, all the baseball and softball, everybody's seems to be happy. The water meters for, I can talk about that in irrigation when we get to there. So that's fields where they are. On a going forward basis, summer field allocation's gonna be coming up after 8 o'clock tonight. We'll open up Field B will be available for the playground as well as for some of the soccer camps that come into play. And we'll keep Field A open as well to provide that facility for them. Probably maybe close down 1 or 2 fields over the summer, address them, and then in the fall keep 1 or 2 fields closed on a going forward basis for proper rotation. That's where we stand with the fields.
May I ask you a question, Mr.
Sure.
Chairman? How do you know all about this stuff? Because I'm in the dark. I mean, all this stuff as far as what's happening as far as field maintenance, do you hear about this from someone else or?
I don't hear about it. I'm actually down at the fields, putting up goals, putting up nets, making
No, but as far
lines.
as all the stuff that's happening as far as the fields and what's happening as far as the turf
I
and.
just told you what I was doing. I'm not sure if you understand.
Oh,
I'm at the fields. I'm
Right.
lining the fields. I'm there. I'm talking with Justin from the DPW, having conversations with him to see if things are running properly. So I am engaged.
oh, well, that's
The
great.
process.
Can you send me an email when all this stuff that you talk about as far as how all the fields are
You can read
being?
through either the minutes from the previous meeting, or you can ask me now.
Well, I'm
or
just
you
saying,
can
moving forward,
understand.
I've been here a year,
Right.
and you
And I
seem to know
update you.
everything that's going on as far as the
That's all.
fields. Yeah, well, may I still finish?
Go ahead.
All this stuff that goes on as far as the field maintenance, when you hear about it, because you're there all the time.
I am not going to tell you every time I'm there doing.
No,
one little
I'm
thing.
not, no, we meet once a month, right?
Correct, and I give you an update once a month.
Oh, that's the update.
I'm not sure what you're looking for, Kevin.
Well, just all the different turf stuff and all the different fields being closed. And
Yeah.
So you have a working relationship with Justin from the DPW?
Yes, I do.
So can he email me?
No, you cannot.
Why not?
You will get an update from me
Oh, okay.
as chairperson of this organization.
Oh,
If you'd like
okay.
to take a more proactive approach and be down at the fields yourselves, you're more than welcome to do that. I don't suggest you do that because it's a lot of work, but that is an option. So moving on.
Well, yeah, you're Mr. Turf Green, so, okay.
I'm sorry, what was the comment for? I'm trying to be civil here. I'm trying to keep this meeting going, but
No, we are.
I don't need these little underhanded comments coming out from you.
No, I just would like, I don't see any reason why we're trying to work together, right?
I don't know. I'm trying to work together here, but I'm getting a combative feel from you. Like everything's got to be a fight and argument,
I don't think so.
aggravation.
I don't think so, Todd.
Let the viewers tell us. I have no idea.
That's right, they can.
Yeah.
They can.
Moving on.
But you don't want to talk any further?
If this
We
is
need to be
applicable
done
to
by
the
8.
agenda, that's fine. We need
We
to be
we
done
don't
by-
have to be done.
Yes,
Well,
we
we
do.
have field a lot.
We have field allocation.
Well,
at
I
8 o'clock.
understand that, but we've run many times beyond
Kevin?
because I've asked questions. I know
We're
you're the
moving on.
chairman, you
We're
run
moving on.
the agenda.
Please stop. We're done with field and court updates. Working with DPW on items needed for long-term field maintenance. I had a conversation with Justin and a few others to say, well, you know, in the past, we've purchased the blowers to help them out because items couldn't get on their budget or whatever. And those particular items help us out long-term because it provides the services and allows them to use the equipment to help us maintain the fields and get their field maintenance done in a more timely fashion. Used to do a lot of outsourcing of items. We still use STS for various field work, but I would like to see us kind of bring more in-house. That way it keeps the cost down for everybody involved, but be able to work better with DPW and see what their needs are. I know that a couple of the items they need is a thatcher that would go on the zero-turn blowers to help out with the thatching process, plus also a seed slicer, which, you know, you probably, fantastic to have one that's, you can take behind a tractor, but, you know, if we have the smaller one and we address the areas of the fields on a going forward basis, I think that would probably help us long-term. I don't have anything as far as an item to purchase, just something to think about on a going forward basis.
Would you like me
We'll
to
have to
ask?
talk with DPW and see what some of the needs are. I know, you know, like I said, some of the immediate needs are the thatcher, the seed slicer, and, you know, whatever else next.
Okay.
It'd be fantastic if we had a deep tine aerator, top dresser, all those beautiful things. not gonna get it day one, but I think on a going forward basis, we can look at that. Irrigation of the fields, Ann, you wanna give that update?
Sure, the irrigation at Pond Street is on. We are running into the same problems that we have run into the past, and that, there's some dry spots and a few heads that have had to be replaced, less heads that have been, had to be replaced this year, but we have dry spots primarily because the original design, when the Pond Street was built, it was a low bid job. It was 7 years ago now, 17, 18 years ago now. And
That long ago?
yeah, and the heads could really be closer. So what happens when they circle around, they cross and then they sort of leave a diamond area that's, especially if it's windy out, it doesn't get hit with water. So we may, the irrigation at Pond Street is a commercial irrigation system. It's plastic PVC underneath the ground. It's not like the irrigation systems at our home where we can just, bend a hose and put it underground. So, one possibility we may want to look at is adding a couple of tees off the main lines on each field to address those areas, because unfortunately a couple of the areas are right in the middle of a field, so we have a kind of a dry hole, because that's where the kids are playing. So that's, that's something to think about. But the irrigation has been on, it's been very dry, as everyone knows, we're almost at a drought condition.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Or,
Go ahead.
I know approximately about a year ago, you asked me not to micromanage, so we're not actually gonna give you approval to do whatever you wanna do with the irrigation, right? As far as the heads in the fields and what's not working, or?
I don't do anything by myself with irrigation. We,
DPW.
DPW
Right.
does that. It's an ongoing, you meet once a month. If you want us to, something looked at in particular,
No,
I can
I'm
certainly
just saying
ask
that,
for them
because
to
when I
look
hear
at
about
it.
this stuff, that stuff doesn't, because when Tom asked me like a year ago, not to micromanage you, this stuff really doesn't matter to us, right, as a board, what happens, because she's paid to oversee the fields, right?
Right, but we're getting updates as a board, so we understand what's going on. Because you just said you'd like to know what's going on with the fields, and now you don't want to know what's going on with the fields.
Well, no, you seem to know what's, as far as all the fertilizing and all the, we're moving one field from one
Can you
soccer
get to your
field
point?
to, yeah, I am.
Okay,
You seem to know about
yes,
everything, and there's a reason for that,
yes,
but I won't go into that, okay?
sure.
Thanks.
So I'm giving you an update on the irrigation, because the irrigation, if it's working or not working, or if there's something that could be done better, it has its effect, it affects the fields. So, and that's what needs to be managed and taken care of and addressed.
Mhm.
So I think that although you may not particularly be interested, I think others may be interested to know that we are looking at the workings and how things are working at all the fields. And certainly the people playing on the fields are probably interested in that. And so going to the Freeman Kennedy fields, there are 2 water meters. One is for baseball, which is the field 8, the Little League field, which is to the closest to the road. That has an irrigation system. That's baseball's responsibility. There's another water meter that's been put in. That's football, that goes to the football field and can also be used for hand watering for the softball and the Babe Ruth field, but they don't really, that's farther, it's harder to do. Football is aware that the water meter is in. I emailed Jim Caro the other day and just touched base with him and said if he needed any help, as this was a follow-up to his visit to our meeting. And he said that he's addressing it already, and if he needs any help, he will be in touch.
Okay. Then an update on the spring and summer programs?
Yep, the spring programs are all underway and it's hard to believe it's already the 1st of June. They'll be finishing up in a couple of weeks, and then our first, most of our programs really start the July 6th, but we have a couple of programs starting the week before June 30th. The playground program, we're getting registrations in now. That'll start June 29th. And we are getting all our ducks in a row and organized for that as we're meeting now and will be and going on. And a lot of programs are, doing quite well. We have some soccer programs that are different soccer programs that are being held in addition to our programs. Challenger, New England Premier Soccer, Puma. And I talked to Challenger and they're very happy so far. They have 19 registered for the first week, so that's great. It's their first summer here doing the program. We're happy that's working out.
Okay. Any problems with the programs? Camps or anything? Obviously we'll have the fields open and everything.
No, the one glitch, but we've worked around it and we knew about it ahead of time, was that the difficulties that HL Day School is having and they need to be repairing their building and their roof, so we are not having any programs at the HL Day School, and they'll be at Freeman Kennedy, between Freeman Kennedy and when we have some programs here as well.
Okay. I'm going to, I know it says set date for next meeting, June 22nd, but I want to go, and we can include those items on the agenda for next meeting, as well as any others that they want to include, and we'll do the call out before the meeting next time. But with respect to the pavilion, non-field spaces, I know that we brought this up last time and it was thought about, because you do get a lot of requests as far as being able to use either the pavilion up at Pond Street and or the facilities now at Rockwood Road there with the new playground, or any of the other facilities, whether it's a field up at Freeman Kennedy or what have you, for special kind of one-time events. I just did some quick research online, various towns and their parks and recreational facilities. Some of them have applications, some of them have policies and procedures on going over different things. Each of them have different values as far as what charges should be, whether it's resident, non-resident, one-time use, multiple time use. So can certainly start putting some of this stuff together and think about, the different facilities and what's reasonable, I think. So that's what I found. I don't know if anybody else has had an opportunity to think about it, but that is one of the items that we should address sooner rather than later, is to come up with something that we can put, and obviously we can make changes indefinitely, because that's what we can do, as a board. We have
Some of the things that we've looked at in the past, when we've talked about this, when it's come up, is this, if there's a group that needs additional barrels, so they need some trash removal, if they're using electricity, then there may be, and a lot of it depends on how many people are going to be there. If they're having a birthday party for 12, they really, and they're gonna, that's
more of a nominal fee.
right. Or even if they're, going to be there for an hour, it's really, almost a public use.
Right.
But if they're going to have 25 or 30 people and they need, or more than that, and need electricity and trash, then I think some fees are probably necessary, since we have to cover those costs.
Sure. And I know that we, last time I started to do my research, so I'll start to come up and put something together and obviously distribute out to the members at large, and we can, tweak it down from there. But in the meantime, if any of you guys have any thoughts or ideas, please share them with me directly. All right.
Okay.
Then let's see, set date for our next meeting, June 22nd. Is everybody okay with June 22nd, 7 o'clock?
Sure.
Yep.
All right. And we'll include the open space plan is,
That's a Monday, right?
it is a Monday.
Yeah, sure.
I will ask Gino Carlucci to come to that meeting. That's a question. I didn't ask like one, but that is a question.
So if Gino could come in, that would be fantastic, because then we can get rid of the open space plan.
Okay. And meanwhile, I've sent out information about the open space plan, the Foxborough open space plan, which got a lot of kudos from the state. I think I've sent links to that, so if people haven't had a chance to review that, just might give people a good idea of what it is. And what a
Yeah.
good open space plan looks like
That's the open space plan from where?
from Foxborough. But there's one from Franklin, it's not limited to that, I just threw it out there because it was close by and
Did they ever update ours?
they're still working on that. So that's what Gino's coming to talk to us about our goals and such.
Right.
So those,
I was just saying, the presentation that was provided to us before, where the numbers didn't jive in with the actual graphs.
I'm not sure if he's updated that, I haven't
Okay.
talked to him
Alright.
since, but I have given him the information that was sent to him.
Okay. Time is now 7:51 and the meeting is adjourned.